All right, we got Damien from PUML.io here. How's it going, Damien?
Yeah, awesome, Corey. It's great to be on the show and excited to talk more about PUML and Chirp as well.
Right. So PUML basically, and we actually talked about this during when I was messing around with Schipple, which is just like a token community that I started back in the day, low of 2 years ago. And we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we could have it set up so that we could create some distribution or some inflation through people doing activity, right? Just to plug it into the accelerometer on the phone and do that or whatever. And like 6 months later, you guys show up. I'm like, well, this is gonna work. So maybe describe for anybody that hasn't heard of PUML yet, basically what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah, sure. So we call it a challenge platform. So basically, we run challenges, and we have two sort of, I suppose, audiences. We either run challenges for brands. So, for example, we just ran a Foot Locker challenge, and all of the challenges are basically making you healthier, or they're actually starting to go down the mental wellness path. So nice. we believe that everyone should have good health and good wealth. And so we've tried to combine the two, the physical activity, the mental health, and also with the crypto as well, that there's potential that you can sort of start, stacking units, and over time you can actually earn revenue from those units via the data that you create on the platform. So yeah, the first one's through brands, and the second one, which is more of our revenue model, is through corporates. So the corporates are looking at sponsoring their employees to be healthier. So they run challenges, and those challenges, for example, might be a step challenge. It might be a weight loss challenge, a sleep challenge, or even a meditation challenge. And the reason why they do that is they can help their employees sort of go through this stressful time right now and ensure that people are being active, eating well, and being healthy, and reward them along the way.
I love that you guys have moved into, and I definitely want to hear more about the sleep challenge. But what started when you guys moved into kind of the mental wellness side, meditation? How long before you guys started doing that?
Yeah, so we're really new. So we're actually just in beta, and we only launched both iOS and Android about 3 months ago. So brand spanking new, although it's been in development for over 18 months. Right. So as you know, anyone sort of building on blockchain or doing a dApp, etc., there's just a lot of work there, and trying to create a new product. We've also experimented with different challenges and how we create stickiness to improve retention, and a lot of cool stuff like that. So yeah. We've sort of gone originally from physical health and just looking at things like cycle challenges and trying to, I suppose, disrupt what was originally a corporate step challenge and say, well, actually, you can do a lot more stuff. You can track a whole bunch of stuff, and you should reward people for doing all sorts of challenges rather than just step challenges. So that's the first thing we expanded. But then since COVID, we've seen a real increase in mental health issues. And yeah, some of our first customers that we've had on, some businesses have always asked us around, do you have mental well-being? How do you sort of relate that into, a healthy lifestyle? And a lot of businesses now are looking at this holistic approach of like, let's not just, have this work-life balance where you're at work and you're at home, but let's reward people the whole time, whether or not you're in the office or at home.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, mental wellness, food, sleep, and physical health all sort of come together to create, the best possible outcome. So, yeah, since getting that feedback about mental health, and we're currently building a meditation challenge. So that requires you to meditate, say, 15 minutes a day, and then it has streaks for like 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, etc.
Man, that's I love that, especially like gamifying. You know, I wanted to say good behavior. That's not really the right way, but
No, it's
like
like
really advantageous behavior, right? Like stuff that's going to
yeah.
help you, and gamifying that. I'm glad that you guys are out there doing that, because that I can only imagine that that's going to work.
Yeah, it definitely works. So we sort of came out of University of Queensland, Australia, but we also did an accelerator with an Israeli sports tech blockchain company, which was with New York University. And both of those processes, we sort of found that, there's sort of three things that motivate people to be healthy. Primarily, it needs to be yourself, right? You need to have that self-motivation. But
Right.
when you also have social pressure, so pressure from your family, pressure from your friends, from your employees and things like that, then that also adds to the success rate. And then also when you layer that with an incentivization, like our rewards token, where there's a real marketplace, you can get real rewards. You can also have like leaderboards, and that credibility is part of the rewards achievement piece. Then it also extends the likelihood that you can keep healthier for longer and actually create, healthy habits. So
Right.
every challenge we try and do 3 weeks plus, so that you're trying to create that cognitive
Habit
change
forming.
in behavior,
Mhm.
whether or not that's getting steps to like 5,000 a day or 7,000 a day or 10,000 a day, whether or not that's getting sleep to 7 hours, REM increasing that, or otherwise it's like we're adding these micro challenges, which are just like track your water, track your food, and things like that. So eventually, when we build the final product, you will be able to run challenges across all sorts of different things and be rewarded for living that lifestyle. And essentially, preventive medicine is the future, right? Our
Yes.
hospitals can't take what we're doing. So the more we can do to make people healthier as corporates and as our community, then the better it is.
Yeah, I agree. So what you guys have obviously created the PUML token. That's on EOS mainnet, right? Or is it? Where is that?
Yeah, it's on EOS mainnet. Yeah.
EOS mainnet. Okay. Why did you guys choose to do that route, and what are the tokenomics, right? Like, is it just a kind of an internal point system, or is there kind of an ecosystem around the token now?
Yeah, it's a good question. So first one is we were originally looking at going on Ethereum, but again, we sort of moved over to EOS and mainnet just simply from a cost perspective.
Yeah.
And because we're building a real product. So, our audience isn't crypto primarily. You know what I mean? We've got a nice little community building, etc. But a lot of our users have come via a corporate, or they're actually downloading the app via a brand. Like, say they see the Foot Locker brand and they join it. So we're a mass adoption DApp. And when we did the calculation on running 100,000 users, 1 million users, if you want to do that on chain on Ethereum, and this was prior to DeFi when you have these crazy costs.
Right.
So ultimately that's the reason why
it wouldn't scale.
Yeah, they just wouldn't scale. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we have this idea as we grow that, so first of all, what's the token for? It's a rewards token, but there is some really nice tokenomics where each corporate that we bring on, they purchase our token and they pay via our platform as a platform fee. But every time they're buying the token, obviously that's going back into the community. They reward their employees, but those employees are not like a traditional corporate app where you're stuck in like this corporate environment. You're actually in our community that way. And as soon as you got those tokens, you can then compete with a friend who doesn't work with you, or you can, get your family or whoever it may be, and you can start to share tokens as rewards to that community. So we're still building a lot of stuff, but with the tokens, one of the key things we're going to be doing is the idea of staking and what we call return on activity, or ROA. So the more activity you meet, then you get bonus on the yield that you return for those stake tokens.
Nice.
And if you don't hit those physical targets or that challenge, then you lose your tokens. So again, it's like
I was actually going to ask if you guys were doing that, as far as staking. If you suddenly got some stake, right? Like proof of stake, meaning that you're going to have to actually go and actually get this stuff done to get your stuff back.
Yeah, awesome. Exactly.
That's
And obviously, if you don't, then the rest of the community that went into that challenge receive your rewards.
Nice.
But that's still in development.
Still, that's a good idea. I like that. I like that a lot. Like that would get me off my ass.
Exactly. So that's some of the tokenomics. We're eventually going down the path of bringing data deals. So over time, our users will get more and more data, and then hopefully we'll be able to bring more deals like insurance deals, etc. So our promise to our users is you always own your own data, but we'll bring you deals. And if you want to actually opt into those deals and share your data, then you also get like token rewards for that.
Yeah, I've talked to a few projects that are doing things that are similar to that, and it just seems like it's going to be the way that things are going. It's the way it should go. Like Andrew Yang, I'm accidentally wearing this t-shirt, whatever, talked about data ownership here in the presidential race in the States, and that it's such a huge thing, and it's only going to get bigger, right? The more data that we're producing, the more people are going to start to realize that they should actually get some value from that. So I'm glad that you guys are sort of positioning people to start doing that. And I would imagine doing that at scale with a network effect as well, right? The more people you have using the site, the more valuable the data is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of our pathway. So our strategy is we're on EOS mainnet now. We've obviously done some airdrops. So we're trying to support the mainnet as much as we can. But when we start to build out more and more data, then we're likely to use EOS.io as a sidechain so that we can sort of protect some of that data and have some of those issues around sovereignty where you got GDPR, blah, 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 all this ridiculous sovereign-based data things that we need to obviously work with.
Right.
But at the same time, we want to make this data extremely secure and that you as a user always have control. And we as a centralized business eventually can step back and not be able to have access to any of that information.
So would you, using EOS.io, like would you create a like proprietary sidechain or how do you mean?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking at the moment. And we're in discussions with, we've looked at a few different chains, but we're in discussions with, Block One. We were just yesterday, we were on a call with them and they were talking about their blockchain as a service, BaaS, which is really interesting. But we could potentially develop that ourselves as well.
Yeah, as far as data security, that makes sense. Not like a full-on tech nerd, so I wouldn't be able to. It's just like sort of a major league fan. I love talking to all the people that are for sure. So that the tokenomics sound really interesting. Like having to put up some PUML to hit a goal and not have that come back if I don't hit the goal. Like that's going to work. I mean, you already know this, obviously, which is why you're building it, but that'll be really, really good.
Just touching on that data piece there as well.
Yeah,
it's just worth mentioning that, again, where we're going long term and where I think people, though they're not really valuing their data at the moment, as you said, like people are starting to turn and it will go on. But one of the exciting things with wearables, and so everything we integrate with is like wearable based, so like Fitbit, Garmin, Apple Health, etc. We're getting more and more medical grade type wearables, even to the point where you're going to see apparel, so clothing, like smart clothing, come out over the next 3 years. It's already working with like elite sports at the moment at sort of interesting costs that are actually not too exorbitant. So I think that in the future we're going to just keep on getting more and more data that's more and more medical grade. And what that means is our data lake of data and your individual data as one of our members can then be used for predictive diagnosis of like lifestyle diseases, and we can start to really trap in on heart disease and what's going on particularly with diabetes. We're going to start bringing in a whole bunch of different things that you could potentially take to your physician or your clinician and be able to give you a really good overview of like health risks.
Wow, that's huge. Did you see the study that MIT apparently created an AI that can track the COVID cough based on the sound?
No way. No, I didn't see that actually. That's
Yeah. Cool, so and like just that, that kind of thing. I again, I know I've said this 3 times now, but I really mean it. The direction that you guys are going, is it's going to improve people's lives, right? That the number of potential improvements for health outcomes would be great. That'd be really awesome if in the United States they just go to universal healthcare so that people could really be incentivized to do this. But who knows? Maybe what the insurance company's missing piece is just going to be you guys, because they're going to realize how much money they could save just by buying PUML tokens and being part of the community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we have seen a sort of non-crypto competitor gain a lot of traction in the UK, actually working with the NHS. It is there, right? If you can actually move people at scale, which is very difficult to do generally, you need a whole bunch of things coming together. But we believe that our platform is going to be that. It's going to get to the point where we can actually get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users on the platform globally running these cool challenges. And it's all very social as well, which is nice.
Yeah, that's well. So speaking of social, I mean, you guys started a channel on Chirp. Have you seen the Telus channel? Have you seen what we're doing with that?
I haven't seen what you're doing. I know that we just started up a channel, and I just checked it out.
And we just launched this. It was about a week, maybe a little week and a half ago. Telos decided to beta with us. Basically, we've got a channel set up for them, which is just like a little private, almost not really private. It's like a Facebook group, but it posts to the rest of the site. Where if you posted it, it automatically sends you 10 telos, and if you get any likes, it sends you 1 telos. So it's basically just like a little, it's a way to kind of fund a little social interaction, where people are incentivized to come in and hang on Chirp as a community. Boyd actually quickly followed suit. So if you guys want to play around with that, we'd love to have you set up. We basically want to be almost like a social media tokenized mind as a service, right? There's a huge explosion of that kind of thing on Telegram now with Dust, which is a cryptocurrency that Kurt, our founder, created, and people are just really, really digging it. So anything, credible stuff, like we sort of want to whitelist stuff. We want to have projects that are credible in building stuff, which you guys clearly are. So if you guys want to check it out or try it out, we would love to have you come in and try that out, because I think it'd be a really, really good fit. And we need to get everybody on Chirp on a challenge.
Yeah, awesome, Corey. That sounds really cool. Yeah, no, we'd love to do that. I think, like I said, the team's already set something up, put a couple of post-ins. We just need to spend some more time on it. And then we really like the idea of, we ran a competition a little while ago, which was just on Twitter. Which was post a picture of yourself working out or doing some exercise, and that sort of had really good feedback. So we'd love to maybe do, I don't know how you go with competitions and challenges on your platform, but cool.
I mean, we've done a couple. We're a little bit smaller than Twitter by like a little bit. But I would love to do it. There's been a couple of people that have done it kind of independently. So I think we would definitely get some traction on it. So we'll touch base with you and try that out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then, I mean, like figuring out we could figure out how to do that per post. I'll talk with you guys. We don't have to hash any of the stuff, but as far as experimenting with some of the stuff we're doing with the token mines, I think we could integrate that as well, which would be pretty cool.
Awesome.
So I mean, you guys are going hardcore into that. I guess on the social media side, and I'll just and you can answer as a team if there's any relevant things, or just you yourself. I ask everybody these questions that come on here. What is the thing that concerns you the most about social media today?
Oh, about social media. Well, I think there's obviously lots of things you can talk about there, but I've got a few kids, 3 little kids. So I think kids and social media is definitely something that, it's clearly so early that we don't know the impact of what it'll do. And obviously in health and fitness, we've got this really weird sort of fitness thing on social media around sort of unrealistic expectations and all that type of stuff. So I think that with children is definitely a concern. That's probably my first sort of red flag on social media. The second is obviously, the the most obvious thing right now, which is around, surrounding yourself by the same people, and people not, some people realistically not understanding that that's an algorithm and not the entire world's idea.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It just seems to be happening more and more, where people are just becoming so polarized, and it's basically, the complete reason for that is due to algorithms on social media.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a confirmation bias engine. You're always gonna find exactly what you're looking for, and then find other people that are social proofing that for you.
Exactly.
Based on the algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've worked technically on algorithms before. I used to work a lot. My background's in music and streaming and things like that. So yeah, we did like some pretty interesting algorithms, and yeah, it just literally always turns out the same way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
it,
I mean, it's feeding the beast, and it just keeps, they're
it's
taking it. So I don't have an answer of how you can actually change that, because that's sort of how they work.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're basically starting off by just deciding not to do any algorithms at all. Like right now, like we're small enough that kind of everybody sees everything in the main feed. Before too long, I mean, obviously people are following channels. That's going to accrue to a feed that is going to get developed, and then you're going to get everything on there. But you're going to have the users going to be controlling which things that they're seeing and which things they're not, as a kind of an opt-in thing, right? Like we're not going to be serving things to people based on an algorithm of what they liked before or what their friends like, because again, like exactly as you said, but like we see exactly where that goes. All right, well, this is way more fun. As a question, what are you most excited about when it comes to social media?
I think obviously social media has a lot of great things. What am I most excited about now? It's a tough one for if there's something really new that's sort of exciting where we're going. Maybe in the health space. For us, the version of social media is going to be slightly different for us, because it's less about, posting photos and videos and things like that, and more around finding communities and getting motivation from those communities. I'd like to see sort of like a next version of social media where it is less about posting and just constantly putting out, and more bringing that traditional community element back into social media, which clearly platforms like Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat might have a little bit on the community thing, but the others are really struggling right now, I think. How do you bring back that? Let's work on a common goal. For us, that's health and fitness. How do we motivate each other? How do we, work together to live better lives, share, healthy behaviors and places and, purpose and things like that. So, I'm excited about what we can do in the health and fitness / social space, I suppose.
Yeah, any way that we can help at Chirp, I'll just say right now, we'll totally do it, because it is such an affirmative vision for, connecting more and more people, right? We're seeing what happens when you connect more and more people, and the sort of the base level habits or the base level thought processes get kind of pushed out to scale, right? And the way that you phrased it, like bringing that back down to community and to purpose, are things that resonate with me deeply, because it is a thing that we can do. We're allowed to do it, right? Nobody's stopping us from doing it. People have been gathering together in communities very positively and for a purpose since we started, hanging around campfires. So doing that for the purpose of improving everybody's health and getting into the meditation thing and the sleep thing, I'm excited that for where that's going as well, frankly.
Yeah. I mean, the whole COVID has really changed things. And one thing that I've noticed is like I used to travel heaps, right? All the time.
Right.
And I'm not being in Australia, you got to travel, right? There's nowhere else to get to. There's not a lot going on down here when it comes to big business. But I have felt more connected with like people I know in America or in the UK, because we are doing more Zooms, and it's easier to actually sort of get into these types of meetings and accelerators and like workshops, where before you had to be in San Fran or you had to be somewhere.
Right.
I think that is going to change social media a little bit is that, people are going to be looking more towards video conferencing for meeting up. And it's not going to be so hard to say, well, just because I'm not in a physical location doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Right. Well, yeah, we're having to. My wife actually works. This is my office for about a year, and my wife works at the VA as a neuropharmacologist, clinical pharmacologist, that kind of thing. And basically, the second that COVID started, they're like, "You don't need to be here." Right, we're gonna instantaneously kind of, you're gonna be locked in an office calling people who are doing video conferencing anyway. So just you're gonna stay there. This was a year ago, or however long COVID's been going on. She's been working from here, and they're even just at the VA, their processes I think are going to be changed forever because they've realized a whole other level of efficiency that can be derived from this. It was sitting right there, right? But we're so used to nope, you got to go into the box and then be all together in the box and do the, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm really excited to hear about how that has been, extrapolated even into the tech space, which I kind of would have thought would be pretty good at working, collaboratively at a distance anyway.
Yeah. No, it's definitely changed. I think it's changed for the better, which is a good thing.
Yeah. At least one good thing comes out of it. Although it's just I completely randomly, I was looking at some of the data points on the vaccines, and it's starting to look like what they figured out with the mRNA basically lets them, if they can map the protein markers on any virus, AIDS, freaking anything, they can make a vaccine for it now, just based on the work that these people have been doing for COVID. And I want to see a lot more on that before I'm 100% convinced. But that's one more thing, right? Where instead of just trying to whack this one mole, they might have created a mole whacking device, which would be pretty cool.
Exactly, yeah. And I think there's going to be lots of businesses and companies that come through COVID with new ideas and new ways of doing things, which will be positive. But primarily it's been pretty crap.
Yeah, exactly. It's looking for silver linings anywhere we possibly can. Damien, thank you so much for coming on. I definitely want to chat with you guys again. I would love to get PUML integrated on Chirp if you guys want to look into doing that. We should absolutely, if we do it at all, we should do it in conjunction with doing a challenge and getting a bunch more people on the app and bouncing back and forth between the social media community side and the app is clearly kicking ass. I'm excited to start using it myself.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, and it's great that you guys are supporting so many different ones. It's a great community there with Telos and Boyd, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of other cool dApps and platforms coming on. We really do want to be the. Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, I'm really excited about, EOS and ETH sort of coming a little bit closer together with bridges and things like that and wrap tokens. That's definitely something we're thinking about as well, trying to sort of see if we can get a little bit over some of the tribalism and, as engineers, try and deliver some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's so smart. The tribalism, just, I keep trying to explain to people the network of networks is where all this has to go, right? Which is the internet, right? Because it used to be a bunch of small networks, and then that kind of got embedded. That's where we need to go. Imagine having an internet in Seattle and an internet in Dallas, Texas, and they hated each other. That's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. The more we have that, and that's kind of the take that we have sort of, or the principle anyway that we brought into Chirp, right? We want to make sure that we're open to any tokenized project. We're sort of from the cryptocurrency space anyway. So, we've got the capacity to kind of build that into a social environment, but then bring everybody home into the same spot where ideas can cross-pollinate. And we can, kind of bring all the people that are really into this new level of technology together. And I'm going to drag all my friends and family that are noobs and have no idea along, kicking and screaming.
Exactly. Cool. Well, thanks so much for having me, Corey. That was awesome, man. And I'll see you on Chirp. We're definitely going to get in there and see if we can get some challenge and some of the community over. So that'd be cool.
Awesome, man. Damien, very nice to meet you, man. And I'm really excited for what you guys are building.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Cheers. Have a good night. Or day. Day for you? Day.
Yeah, it's day, yeah.
Yeah. It's very dark here. But yes, have a good day on the other side of the planet.
I will. Bye.
Cheers, brother. Thanks, man.